Okay.
But a question about schooling days. So you and I both went to UCLA. I was in Mellons Hall, across from McGowan Hall, which is the theater department.
That's right.
I'm just curious, when you come from a showbiz family, what were your first weeks like being a theater student in formal training?
I had a horrible experience at school. It wasn't UCLA's fault. It was my fault. But basically, I never assimilated. I grew up in New York City and the Upper West Side. I went to a really small high school. So when I got to UCLA, I mean, my history class, there were like 300 people. That was like 3 times the amount of kids who were in my high school, were in my history class. And I kind of freaked out. And I didn't meet one person there the whole time I was there. I was kind of like just the guy in the movie, only in college. You know, the high school version of Ted in the movie, just except I didn't have braces and my hair wasn't much better. My hair was pretty much as bad as it was in the movie.
Well, when you think of difficult scenes to do in this film, when your head is getting pummeled into the desk, does that give you appreciation for what people like Hulk Hogan have to go through in professional wrestling?
Yeah, it's about at that level of mastery, the work. You know, there are really moments like that when I'm proud to be an actor, and I feel like I've pushed myself to the limit as far as I could go in terms of, really putting myself out there. Yeah, it's basically like being a professional wrestler. It's not fun, scary. You really have to trust your fellow actor. Thank God the actor who was slamming my head was very professional and had an experienced background in professional wrestling. No, but he might have.
Okay, well, let's get to dog wrestling. I think most people are smart enough to realize that the dog scenes weren't all real dogs in there, but the scenes with the real dog, and dogs have trainers.
Fake dog.
Now, how fascinating for you to watch the trainer in action?
Interesting because you kind of have to create a relationship with the dog himself, and the trainer is obviously egging the dog on. But the dogs are really, and there was one dog, this dog Slammer, who was a very great, sweet dog who just loved to play. You had to make it like you were playing with the dog even though you were fighting. So then right when the camera rolled, you go, "Argh!" And then like it would cut, and then you make sure that like the dog knew you were only fooling around. It was fun. But it is strange because the trainers have to say all weird things and have biscuits and things like that for them.
Now, you let out a couple of really great screams in this film.
Did I?
I'm just wondering, perhaps you have a future in Scream #3, but did you have to rehearse that beforehand in front of your mirror at home?
I rehearse all my expressions in front of the mirror before I act. So if I have a love scene, I'll kind of go up to the mirror and go, and just like kind of give like a, see what the best sexy look I could give is, or if I have a scene where I have to like, scream, I'll scream. I'll just spend hours at home in the morning screaming until I hear, and I tape record it. And then when I get the right pitch, that's the one I go for. But usually it's very hard, because you can scream. There's so many different ways to scream.
So did you ever find there were times that the crew felt sorry for you, especially when you came out with the braces for the first time?
I guess they felt sorry for me when they point at you and laugh at you. Is that feeling sorry for you? Because I get pointed at and laughed at a lot, and everybody just kind of. I was responsible for giving everybody a good, nice, big laugh every morning when I'd stick the braces in. And then the only people who didn't enjoy it were the makeup people they were like these kind of fake bite plate braces. So the makeup person had to kind of follow me around with like a little, container that had dental fluid in it that you could. It was kind of gross.
Now, question about your co-stars. Cameron Diaz, amusing for you to watch how men and women reacted to her on the set?
Amusing? Amusing in what way?
Just how people would kind of look at her out of the corner of their eye rather than like stare.
Oh yeah. Well, she's something else. So it's kind of like in life, people see somebody she's very attractive in a way that doesn't have. It's not necessarily doesn't just have to do with her looks. She's just a very accessible person, and she's really down to earth, and she's really funny. She has a great sense of humor. So when you get that kind of a package, it's like wow.
And Matt Dillon. Now this is a guy. When I grew up, I was watching My Bodyguard. I was scared of him for years. A little intimidating at first.
Matt's got a presence about him, but he's such a funny guy. I love the idea of being in a movie with Matt. That was one of the reasons I wanted to do the film because I've been a fan of his for years, and he definitely, he brings some baggage with him. Like, he's got a presence, which I think is really great. And then he's so funny in this movie. So I'd be cracking up constantly when we were doing scenes together because he had this part. So it was such a specific, little subtle kind of nuance to this guy that besides the big stuff, there's like very subtle stuff that was great.